Welcome to sleepingdog.video. This is John, and today I'm going to show off and unbox the Bambu Lab X1 series combo, which should be the Bambu Lab X1C or X1 Carbon 3D printer. Okay, I'm going to start by, I think I'm going to take the box off the table and put it on the ground. And then this is fairly heavy. I can lift it, but it does weigh a good 50 pounds, I would think. And you want to be careful. I didn't want to drop this thing, and I've got this right here. This, I'll show you. Let me, excuse me, pull the camera down. So this right here is my basically table it's going to sit on. I sit this on top of my, this is my antique Mac from the 1980s after the Apple Macintosh table. There's a whole write-up, and I got to learn more about it. That my sister got me. She spent a lot of time researching to find one. But it's a special table, so there's a lot of history. But for this video, I made this because this isn't completely flat. There's a little lip right here, which is lower than this part in the back. So it's slightly off center. So I didn't want the printer, unless I can adjust the feet up and down, to be not completely level. You got to start with that. So start with your table. Make sure that is completely level. And then that's why I had my brother help me build this. So then I have feet under here that I can screw up and down to make it completely level. I actually have a real level that I put on here in 3 sections and across here to make sure front and back, left and side, that this part is at least level when I start. So I want to open this up, and you can see with me, I've done a lot of research on this printer, but I haven't ever opened it up to see what's included. I think that the AMS unit, which I highly recommend if you get this on the Black Friday deal, that you get the AMS unit with it. You'll find that you'll be using it more than you think for like PLA. Mainly I print in PLA, PETG, and different type TPUs. I haven't wanted to get into printing in ASA or I wanted to try to print in a water soluble filament if I can find ones that can be reasonable cost. I hope some in the near future comes down in price, and to make sure that it's not as high toxic as other ones like ABS and ASA and carbon fibers. I might, depending on how toxic, I have to look into that. Nylon, what is it? PA6 is it called? I know it's 6 and there's another one, but I may want to print in nylon. ABS, just there's fumes, and then there's all the fallout from the printing that gets coated all over your printer, and I'm not sure I want to deal with all that. PLA, at least there's some fumes that you have to worry about. Do your own research on staying safe in 3D printing. There are a lot of people that want to get their kids 3D printers for Christmas and birthdays and so forth, and they have one for their learning. That's great and all if you also make sure they stay safe and don't use it like a toy. Because that in long term, we don't know, even with PLA. I agree with some of the other ones. You have to look them up, and there's not enough information and videos on the subject. But you got to look up and find your own information on what's harmful and what's not. You are on any of these, I don't care if it's a sweet smelling smell or not, you are melting or burning plastic. So you do have to keep that into account. The same with soldering, and the same with even sanding PLA. Make sure I did the, if you want to call it experiment, but not really, but I did the thing of sanding just a little bit, not a lot of sanding, but I did a little bit in my back room. And then I found out of PLA without doing wet sanding. And when I found out that I got sand everywhere, and I could smell it a little bit, sand dust just went everywhere. And I didn't realize how much sanding dust there is in sanding a plastic. I bet there's more sanding dust in plastic than in sanding wood. So I don't know that for sure. I'm just guessing right now. But that seems to me there was so much sanding dust. I spent hours and hours cleaning off all the different bottles of paint and different stuff. And I mean paint like acrylic, water-soluble paints. But the bottles and everything and my parts for 3D printing and everything, and then washing the floors and the woodwork and everything. Man, if I can tell you one thing, is do it outside and wear at least a good sanding mask that helps with some of the sanding fumes, and try to sand only wet sanding. Don't do the dry sanding. And I don't know if you're going to be okay even then, so I'm not saying you're going to be okay, so nobody can guarantee that. This is just helpful tips. So any of these 3D printing sites, make sure you know that they're giving you helpful tips, but you got to be the one that says yes or no. What is it? Yes or no, nay, or yes or nay or something on whether what you're going to do when it comes to 3D printing, sanding, painting with even a spray can of spray paint, using solvents like acetone to clean the bed, and different things like that. Whether you should be wearing gloves or not wearing gloves, all that. Even when you're cleaning your sink and you're using soft scrub and all other chemicals, you should probably be more aware, where we don't do enough talk about that. So it's not just 3D printing industry that we have to be careful with. It's just household chemicals, and should we be storing them inside our house, or should be storing them in our garage. So that's another good subject. So I'm going to pull this out very carefully. Now I'm going to do this slowly. So I might even see in here. So now I have to take off this is like a nylon tape that I have to peel off. See how to do that. I might gently tip it over, so I might have to readjust the camera and see if I can pull it out that way. That may be very gently. I would rather go slow and have it take longer than other people recommend. Like, I can do it in 10 minutes. I can do it in 5 minutes. Do you ever remember the either What's That Song or something, or Name That Tune, I think it was called, TV show, where they always say that, well, I can name this song in 3 notes. I can name this song in 2 notes, and then seeing whether they could do it. So I'm always one that it takes longer for me to set it up than for a lot of other people. See, that came out so much nicer. And I'm left, let's see what I'm left with. I'm left with this stuff. This is like individual little cells of air. So that's pretty cool. Maybe if I need to, I don't know if I want to store it, or I might for other packing material. Okay, so I don't know if this is filament or this is just an empty spool. I'll have to read on it. Support for PLA PETG. So I don't know what's meant by that. You're having the excitement like I am, trying to see what all this is. Normally I don't do a unboxing because I always thought it's a dime a dozen and it really doesn't show you too much. But this is it shows a benchy on the front. I wondered if you could take a little benchy, because that part, doesn't that to you look like a motor? It does kind of look like a motor to me. Let me see, I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. And now, let's see what I wanted the flashlight for. Is, yeah, it does look like a motor. So I wondered if you could print a benchy and then add a tiny, just cheap little motor on the back, design one, and then make it power around like a little toy. So I have to see what's in here. I'll be right back with my box cutter. And let's see how this comes apart. So I am, okay, that's how it comes apart. Now let's see what's in here. Put this together. It kind of feels like maybe a hot end or something. I'm not sure. So let's see what this is. Oh, it is a little motor. That's kind of cool. So I bet they already thought of that. So I guess maybe you, yeah, see? Oh, that was a nice little gift. So then I wind it up. I probably hold this and I wind it up a little bit. And then it's for, well, I'm guessing, but I'm pretty sure it's for when I print my first test print of a benchy, then I can put this on and have a little boat to go around in the water. So you wind it up like this. Yep, it's cheap, but it's a nice little gift that I wasn't expecting. And this rotates around. So basically, you could probably build one if you took it apart and looked at it like that, or make one with a little battery in it, similar to this, but take this as the general design. So that was kind of cute to have that. This one does come, and these rolls, if you buy them in bulk, they're like $15 or $16 a roll. This looks like, I don't know if it's a full roll, but what do you think to you? I think it looks like maybe a half a roll of filament. And when I say a roll of filament, I mean a 1 kilogram spool. This is PLA basic filament. And this is, I wanted to test it anyway. So even though if these aren't full filament, this one's a green filament. So this is also PLA basic filament. Let me see what else it says on it. Just shows a code number on it. So there's supposed to be, is it right here? I'm not sure. Maybe someone that has a, I want to call it a Da Vinci because of my first printer, but it's the Bambu Labs printer. They can tell me whether this here or where the code is for the AMS system on here. Because if this is Bambu Labs filament, there has to be the code. So when you put it in the AMS, it will tell you all the specs on it, right? So it'll set everything up for you. That's the advantage of having a code. Now, you can use, according to the internet, you can use this is styrofoam. You can use other people's filament. You just have to tell it what type filament is in there. So for your AMS, the only filament you can't use in the AMS is TPU because it's too flexible. It's like, because the AMS is basically like going through Bowden tube. So it's like a Bowden tube printer pretty much. It has a direct drive system on the hot end, but basically think of it as a Bowden tube setup where it's too flexible TPU to go through the Bowden tube, go through the system. So one person on the internet said, well, he tried it and it does work. I would do it at your own risk. Anything that you hear or see on the internet. So he said it worked if you have a certain shore hardness. Shore hardness rating, and that's the name for it, is how elastic is the TPU. So a shore hardness of 95 on up 98 is pretty darn hard. Let me show you one thing I printed out. I'll be right back. Okay, so this I printed in a TPU, and I forget the manufacturer that made the filament, but this, man, is so hard. I don't know how thick I made the walls. I think only 2 to 4 millimeters on the wall thickness. But you can see this is kind of, and I forget how many walls I put. Perimeters are the same thing as walls. So if I call it a wall or I call it a perimeter, I think in Kira they call them walls. In other software they call them perimeters. But I think it's one and the same pretty much. And so you can see in here was another wall. So there was a wall here and a wall here. But it made it so thick. What I was trying to do was a ball that I could bounce on the ground for the kids at tennis, that I teach tennis at, had jingle bells in it. So you can hear the jingle bells. And then I wanted to be able to bounce the ball on the ground and have it around this size is a good size to toss around. But I didn't want it this rigid and hard. Like I can't even depress it at all. I can at this part. And you can see here the supports. I have to learn how best to print a ball, and maybe the Bambu Labs slicer is better at it than the Simplify 3D slicer, but you can see how bad that looks because of all the support material. And there really is no other way to print this that I can see without using a bit of support. Maybe I could just do supports down here and not all the way up here, or different kind of supports, but I have to figure that out. The first time that I actually printed a physical, totally round ball. Now I wonder if I could print a ball like this and it be on a little piece, little arm, and then just cut the arm off or something, or make the bottom flat. I don't know how to do it. I'm experimenting. That's the thing with experimentation. But I wanted it to be something that could bounce on the ground, and it would be jingle bells for the Christmas time. Okay, I think that sort of shows this unit. Well, I hope it shows enough. This, I'm going to flip back over. These are the feet down here. So I'm going to try to take this off. Okay, I got this bag off. Put that over there. And I'm going to set this gently up. Oh, now I can take off the tape, which I can peel off the tape. Although I'm going to do it like that. I'm going to peel off the tape a little bit or set it up because I don't want the front glass to fall off and maybe get cracked or damaged. So there's, I guess, glass on the front top, and then there's glass on the door, for the door. Some people made a plexiglass door front, just like I did. You don't want to do that, but I didn't damage anything. So now let's lift this back down gently. I'd rather do it slow and steady than do it fast and break something. So, okay, so I did that. Now I'm going to take the rest of the tape off. Okay, now let me go up with the camera so you can see more. Okay, so let me get rid of this box. Put this over in the corner of my room. They shipped it to the United States from the United States warehouse. They shipped it FedEx, and they shipped it. They shipped it in something like 3 days. So that was pretty good. I was expecting at least a week. Amazon, I expect it shipped a little bit quicker, sometimes overnight. Sometimes I can get Amazon to get things like between 4 a.m. and 8 a.m. in the morning the next day. Yeah. And it's like amazing. I feel I've tried it a couple times, even though I feel for the drivers that have to do night driving to get it to me to 4 to 8 in the morning. And unless you're a company that really needs the parts, we can probably wait until at least 11 a.m. because there was another shipment between 8 and 11. But I suppose if you're going to work and you don't want your package left out on the front step, if they offer it, you can. That's normally, I think, for small items. And I have to just find out, let me take these off, how I get the plastic off the door. Excuse me. So I'm peeling the plastic off here. And then I'm going to peel the, oh no, not the plastic, but the tape off here and the tape off here. Okay. And there's probably, if this doesn't come off easily, then I must have to, maybe I have to cut it, but it looks like that's solid unless I can take the door off and do it that way by taking the door off. But I want to go slow on that because I don't want to take the door off if I don't have to. And I don't want to take the door off and then find out I didn't have to take the door off, and then, so I'm taking this out. If you can see that, I'm taking that part out. And I'm getting to, this should be the AMS. Let's see what's in this box. This box has the oh, this has a lot of stuff, a lot of neat little gadgets. Okay, so this looks like the screen, the high quality screen, and I put over here. This looks like I'm not sure. Maybe you guys know what's all in there. Then I have to figure out. Hopefully, I don't have to put together the hot end. Yep, I might have to put together the hot end. I was hoping that all this was pre-assembled and I wouldn't have to do all the assembly. That's why I spent $1,000 or $1,300 for all this, because I wanted it as basically a plug and play setup. If I have to put all this together, I don't know how people say it takes 10 minutes to set up. Maybe it takes 10 minutes to set up once you've installed all the components. But I don't think it's taking just 10 minutes to set all this up. So, you know, now I'm trying to get out the AMS unit. There's cardboard around here, and then if I can get you closer, can you see a little better? Let's see. Yeah, so there's cardboard around here. This is a piece of foam. If I can figure out how it comes out, this one comes out like that. And then this one, it's packed pretty well, but I got to see how to get there. You know, you want to, if you need to push a little bit, but you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to just jam on it, because you're going to break things if you jam on them. So what I want, I have to figure out why when I'm pulling up on it, it doesn't want to come out. So there must be something else holding it, holding it in. So I'm going to have to go down here, find out. This is the plastic that goes around to protect this unit. And now, okay, so if I can't figure it out readily, I'll put you on pause until I figure out how it's supposed to come out. Some people may want to sit and watch me. Other people may want to boring and move along, nothing to see here. Move along. So that's to take this out. This is another, this is the chain for the, you can't see because it's black on black probably, but this is the chain. A very nice 3D printed chain for all the, probably for all the, some of the cables. So I want to bring it up a little bit, but not too much to break it. And then I want to see if I can get this out. There's part of this. Now let's see if I can get this out. And this out. I may need to read the instructions a little bit on how to like remove this first, and then what other things like how to install the hot end for sure, and how to install. It should be pretty easy because it's right here in front. It should be pretty easy to install the screen. So maybe that'll be the only, hopefully those are the only two pieces that I'll need to install, and it won't be too bad. But I've done installing of other printers, but this is such a new type of printer that I've never used really before. And I say really because I had the XYZ printing printer, and it was basically, I think it was maybe even a little bit bigger than this one. I don't remember the bed size, but I would like to see how to, I may get up and get my flashlight so I can gently figure out how to get out how to release the unit from the bottom. So, okay, looks like there's part down here, whatever this is down here. There's two arrows, one going that way, one going this way. And then there is over there and over there. And I'll lift it a little bit to see if it releases. I am back, and I am down here. So I have, let's see, let me go back, because I have a headlamp that would help me, and I would have my hands free. You can, I'm going to take these two out. So that's one screw. I'm going to take this screw out. These have little red arrows that show you. So I'm going to take these out. Okay, and then, yep. Now, because these two arrows right here, I took the two screws out, and now I'm going to put the screws so I don't lose them up here. And also my two Allen comes with this one, and then it comes with this smaller one that you may need to use. All my products came with so many Allen screws. I like the ones, though, that have the little ball on the end. Is a little bit easier to use and nicer. Some of them come with a little bit nicer Allen screws. So I did that. So let's see now if I can lift the AMS unit, which holds 4 spools of filament. Let me take this out. This is our 2 dry packets. I'm hoping that all this, I'll show you in a minute, is the super dry. Those must be the super dry packets. And now I'm going to see if I can pull this out. Yep, this comes straight out. And then for now, I'm going to set it up here. That everything in the package, these tubes over there on the left, are just extra ones. Everything's pre-installed. And all you have to do is plug in the main, I think it's a data cable or power cable for the AMS unit, and then to talk to the printer, and then it also the power cord for the main printer. So you have to do pretty much everything else is pre-installed. You got to put in the packets for the filament drying, a few minor things like that, but everything I'm showing there is just extra stuff. But I didn't know that the first time taking it out of the box. So pretty much you can just plug in the cable for the AMS unit, put it on top of the printer, make sure all the packing's taken out as I'm doing there, and then just start with the software setup. So it'd be a lot quicker the second time if I ever get a second one of these printers. Okay, I hope this works enough to get this video done. The stabilizer, it's just in the leveling mode, so the stabilizer isn't stabilizing it. I could probably get another holder in the other room, but let's see if this works. So this is so back here I'm taking off the tape that holds the PTFE tubing for the back. So then, and I'm doing this all without watching internet, but without reading the manual, which you should read the manual, but I'm pretty good with 3D printing, putting together, taking down. I've taken so many hot ends apart that I could probably do most of it in my sleep. That's for a bed slinger printer. I don't know about this big modern, or I shouldn't say big, but this modern printer, whether it'll be that easy. So I'm going to show that's the AMS unit. I need to put more of my lights in here. The light bulbs are out in one of my lamps. So I'm going to put all this up. Maybe just, I'm going to slide it over. It's a pretty lightweight unit. So, but it's mostly made of plastic. So anyway, this in the back is, which you can't see, but I can put up here to show you real quick. This is another, I'll do this in another video. So this is, though, it uses the white version. I know black is charcoal filter. So whatever the white filter stuff is, it will, let me clip this back to my belt. Okay, So it will filter out. This was to filter out fumes, so you could put it in different orientations if it holds. And it was hard to get the hose to really hold. That was the only thing. So I'll have to figure that out again. But it was supposed to be for exhausting fumes from soldering. So I was using it for a while because I have the Creality enclosure, the canvas enclosure for my other printer. So I was thinking that I was thinking when I'm pausing, I'm thinking also that I should go get, because this to me doesn't look, it looks higher here than here, even though, so I want to check it again with my level before I put the printer up on it, and make sure that it's level before the printer goes on here. So I will be right back. Okay, these are my two levels. I have a longer, heavier one made out of, this is made out of either plastic or lighter aluminum, this level. So you have, on either of these, you have the bubble in the middle, which can tell you if it's level this way, and somewhere right there is level. And then you have level this way, so you can level it this way. So what I do is I put a level here, and I don't know if you can see it, but this is level here. It's level pretty much here. It could be tweaked just about this much, but that is probably good. Then I go back here, level that way. Then I check it this way, and I check in about 3 places. And then I check, and yes, it seems level, even though my eye thinks it's not level. So the level wins out. So now, oh, and then also I have these pieces, and I'll have to see what this, oh, I know what this is. This is for the, you put it on the back of the printer, and this is for the external spool holder. So now what I need to do is, I think I need to just, well, take these out of the way maybe to clean up around here. And then what I need to do is put this now up on my table. And I'm going to have to use all my legs because it's pretty heavy and I don't want to hurt my back. It's not super, super heavy, but it's between maybe 30 and 50 pounds, I would think. Heavy. So it's heavy enough that with the box and the AMS and everything in it, even though the AMS is light, with all the packing, I bet it was like 50 pounds. The guy was able to put it up on his shoulder and carry it. The not UPS, what FedEx guy, but he was straining a little bit to do that. So now this is the tape, and now it's just how I want to, I guess right here. Yeah, so right here I think I have to, without damaging the glass, I have to cut the, have to see what I did with my cutter, because I have to cut the plastic off. Now I'm either going to do that or I'm going to run in and get a pair of scissors. So let's see if I can cut here. Let's See how that works. And then let me try this in here. When something is brand new, one, if you need to return it, but two, you want to keep it new. You don't want to like scratch it up at the very beginning. After about 50 hours or 100 hours of printing, then if it's going to be used. But I'm going to see. I'm going to try cutting this down here. I might have to pop off the door and figure that out, or maybe by cutting this off if it will pop off without pulling the door off. But it may just pop off easily. I'm not sure since I've never done this unboxing before. Okay, let me see with my flashlight if there's more screws. I think I'm going to leave that for now. I'm going to get this part out next and then move this forward a little bit. So I'm going to get this part out first, and then, so this part, and then see what screws I need that'll pop it out. I'm sure there's a couple screws that held it down. And if there's not, I'm going to figure it out without breaking anything. So yes, it's going to take me a little bit longer to make sure. There's this back here, another screw back here. So I can definitely take the bigger one of my Allen screws, get this screw out. Okay, so that's this screw I took out. Says, like here, you see here, I don't know if you can see on camera, probably, but I don't see any actual, let's see if there's a screw. Yeah, so I don't see any screw there where it's pointing. So then I'm going to have to see if there's a screw somewhere else. There's the arrow here, 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 and down here. And I took the screw out of this one here. So that means you either have to slide it or you have to unscrew something to get it to pop out. And Let me see here. So that's the bed. Let's see about this. Yep, it feels like something's still holding it on here. That was one screw over there. Now I probably have one screw over here, which I can't see, but yep, another screw over here. Okay, that's that one. So there's probably screws all over the place. So each one, you gotta just feel it to get the screws, to get in the screw, and then once it's in, then you just turn until it feels like it's completely loose and out. But they package this really, really nicely. So that's one great thing. And this right here, fan, that looks like a huge fan. A small little light bar. So I'm going to do that, and then I have one over here. I'm going to try to, there. So wherever the arrows are, there's probably a screw holding it down. So even if you can't see the screw. Okay, now see I got this out. Turn this. Now this part pops out, and this is pretty much throwaway. Now whether you want to save the screws, use them in another project is up to you. I might do that. And then throw that out. Now the next step is to make sure I got the back screw to unlock the bed. You need to, instead of using a lot of snap ties, they use just a lot of screws. So there, as you can see, there's no snap ties like in a cheap printer. It's all screwed down. So you can tell that this is a high quality printer. Whether it's the end-all printer remains to be seen, and I'll let you know that after a bit of use. But it is nice quality that they package it just perfectly. And there's one adapter that they say to use for this because that system, they say, doesn't work as well. And so I have to check whether I have to install this one or if this one is just a different, is a extra. So that's what I'm going to have to see. It does say, if you can see on it, with upside down. So if you can see on it, now it doesn't want to focus. There you go. So I think this is the 4.0. Now whether I have to install it or it's an extra one, if it's an extra one, That's really nice to have. I didn't expect that. But if I have to install it, I'll do that next after I get these screws out. And no, next two things is getting the plastic off the door and then putting the screen on would be the next steps. And when you're talking about building a 3D printer, this is like nothing once you understand the system. So if I would ever get a second one, which I don't know how likely that would be, unless this breaks, I would, but you never know. I would know how to unpack this much faster. But when you're doing it for the first time, either read the manual if this is your very first printer, watch things online, and just take it nice and slow and easy. You don't have to be the fastest person in the shed, so to speak. So this is the magnetic sheet, and that was pretty hard. So they have this side, and then they have this side. And actually on this sheet, it seems like it's the same one. So if you wear out one side, I guess you can flip it over. Doesn't look like it's a separate I thought one was like a cool sheet and one was supposed to be the regular sheet. I don't know if this is, on this one is the Super Tack sheet. I gotta pull these out. Yeah, that. So I wonder, I'm thinking, what am I missing here that these don't, that these should come out pretty easily now. I'll try to take the back one out. See, I have to, I don't want to turn it on if I still have packing in here, and I think this is the last packing to take out is this, and if I take out the back and the front, see, it's stuck right there. So that means that this has to go up a little bit. And it looks like the bearings are all greased. So you can look in here. This is the cable for this. This is more PFE tubing over here, which you can't see probably. But you can see all in here. And I'm going to out so you can see from the top down that there is the fan, that's the bed. And so I've gotten everything from this moment on. I've gotten everything. Yep, from what I can tell, I'm going to take this tape off. That is an extra hot end piece. So that's actually, if that's true, then that's wonderful to have an extra one. Um, I bought for $35, I bought 2 full hot end pieces because I didn't unbox this first to see what was in here, and I rushed to buy it so it would be shipped. Um, and I wanted a direct plug-in replacement when I want to switch to a 0.6. I'm thinking, but with this printer, maybe not. But with my old printer, I would want to use the 0.6 and run at about a 0.5. 70, you're supposed to do 75%, no more than 75% of the hot end diameter in your volume of filament coming out of the unit. So if it's a 0.6 millimeter nozzle, then you would want whatever 75% of 0.6 is. 75% of 0.6 is 0.45. 75% of 0.8. So a 0.8 nozzle, you can go up to 0.6 as the most filament to extrude out of your. I was doing 5.5 out of a 0.6 nozzle, so I was actually going a little above the recommendation of for the 75% ratio. So maybe that was one reason. It was printing pretty well, so probably 75-80% would probably be all right. I'm going to put on the screen then next while I think about whether I need to raise the bed up and turn it on to get the last pieces of foam out. You don't want to turn it on if you have anything left that you haven't got out of the system. Okay, much better. I was just changing out. I have 4 different headlamps by Duracell, but I'm not getting paid to say that. I got them at our Costco, box store, and they're really nice. But when they get down to about 50% brightness, I really like the heavy brightness. So now you can probably see everything. Let me step and look at the camera. But you can probably see everything in there without having to use my other flashlight and hang on to it. So what I need to do is put the what do you call this? The screen, yes. The screen on, and you can see that there are the connectors. That's what the connectors look like. So I have to figure out which one goes where so I can plug this into, and if it goes this way or if it goes this way. That's what I'm going to have to figure out. And then I'll take the plastic off the front. So I think it might go this way. If I remember, well, that looks like that's the top. Let's see the writing on it. I'm thinking that it goes that way because that's the top writing. You can see if you agree that it goes that way. Then I'm going to see how to plug in. There, you can see a little better. So then, and I can see this, there are clips on the plastic housing for the screen, and it goes into 2 holes that you can see up here. And those go in, and once they go in, it does clip in by sliding it. I didn't want to force things, though. So that's why it took me longer, because it didn't seem to clip in, but once I felt it, I knew it was supposed to clip in. screws to make sure it doesn't fall out. So let me see if you want to use extra screws. So let me make sure. Oh, it does lock in. Okay. Well, that's terrific. And I guess I didn't need the screws after all. But there are holes I guess you could put screws in. But for right now, since that locked in and I don't know where I put that screw, oh, right here it is. Then, so that's terrific. So shouldn't have taken me that long. But I also remind you that I didn't want to break anything. So I'd rather it take triple the time that it should, but that you don't break anything. And when you're doing this for the first time, if you're an expert, then you can, like taking this off. Now, how do I take the door off just to get the plastic off? You got to think through this. You would think taking the plastic off, you would have no problem. But to get this to come off, and then once it's off like that, okay, there, it pulled right off. So I love that. But all these little things, you see, other people don't talk about. I'm getting low on battery power, so I just wanted to show a couple of things. So this, and then I might charge up my phone and take a break, and then come back after I figure out and how to remove these packing parts in the bottom, and see if I'm supposed to turn on the printer, then remove the packing, and that might be the case. But I want to show, like this looks like there's either a cutter or something. This to get on and off is just magnetic. It's basically magnetic that comes on and off. You got to line it up correctly, and then you see that it's magnetic. So this is the chain, and it's a nice solid plastic, but nice solid chain. This is the, well, this holds some of the, cables. And it's really nice in here. This runs cables and is really tight, the cable management. I don't know how easy or hard it's going to be if you wanted to try to upgrade this. But it is a nice slick unit. There's a little bit of foam material in the top, which is for the top glass plate to lay on. That's probably about all to show you, like back here for the cutter. That's supposed to be the cutter section, and to poop out the back. And I need a box right now, and then I can use, they say, a printer box for now, and then print out one of my first prints. It's going to be a poop, not my words, but a poop bucket for it out the back. I have tons of space out the back because I thought it was going to be much larger, so I can set this further back behind the printer. So I got tons of space. I got probably a good almost 2 feet of space behind the printer set right here. So then I'm not sure what this part's for or if that does anything. This is the lead screws. And then pretty much I think that's it. These are the carbon fiber rails and linear rods, not linear rails. This is the light. This is the, it's pretty taut. The what do you call it, a belt for the whole thing. The whole thing runs around here and then runs around here and then back. So there's there's a belt here and here that run the system. So it seems pretty compact and pretty nice. Now it is what can I make out of using this? So that's going to be the next challenge, is what I'm going to design, and whether my designs are going to be, because the bed looks really small, even though it's supposed to be 256 by 256. It's just a lot more compact than I thought. So I'm going to try to see if my designs I can do on this size of bed. I'm going to just have to take two pieces and put them together, screw them together with some ingenious clips, and to get some of my designs to work. And then if I need an actual bigger printer, maybe I can get my other one to finally work once I get the right bracket. As I said in my other video, the problem why I didn't use that printer anymore. If I can get the right bracket to put my direct drive system back on it, maybe I can get that working again, and I can have two printers, one going simultaneously, or having one printer printing big parts and one printer printing a little bit smaller parts, and things like that. So, but for now, I'm just gonna call it for right now. Come back after I figure out how to get the foam out of the bottom. Welcome back. Today I'm continuing my unpacking of my X1, known as the X1C or X1 Carbon 3D printer. I'm excited about having this printer. Hopefully I can get some good prints, consistent printing done with it. It's a little bit small than I really wanted, but I hope I have good years to come with it. So what we stopped at was the fact that these foam pieces, I think it takes a long time to unpack. I watched a couple videos from a year ago and 2 years ago, and their packing was a little bit different. As you remember, this had a full plastic bag pretty much around it, as well as the top piece to protect the glass. So that was a little different than 2 years ago. They don't show how to get this crumb bum packing out of the bottom. Yes, it's great that they have so much great packing on this printer, excuse me, but it's how to get this out. I checked with